Teaching Toby is presented by Master Channel. Instantly produce outstanding masters at masterchannel.ai. Use the code Matoma during checkout for 50% off.
Yeah, when you start jamming, it's non-stop.
What am I doing in this cabin with Matoma teaching me music production? Well, I'm Toby and I'm part of a DJ duo with my girlfriend. But producing music? Oof, that's hard.
Welcome back to this thing we haven't yet figured out what we're doing, but we're doing something and we're learning something.
Because if not, then you have wasted
7 hours
of your time, and that would be terrible. I want my money back.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's free.
I want my time back. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not Thanos.
Thanos?
Yeah, Thanos.
Thanos?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sometimes you're dropping things I don't understand. Vocals. Yeah.
That's what I've been working on since last time.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit scared of showing you.
No,
but a little bit.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you're excited, but
I've been seeing you you've been really digging into the vocals.
Yeah. But it's how much delay, how much compressor, how much of the EQ did I find the right frequencies. It's a lot to, but I guess that comes with time as well when I start to work with more vocals.
You know, and this is from the bottom of my heart when I say this. It's probably the best tip I can give you, and it's free of charge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For that.
You know what that is?
What?
It's, and here it comes, drum. Use your ears.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know how many times, looking back at Stargate documentary, when they moved over to the States, looking at Dr. Dre's documentary, looking at everybody, especially producers, but also artists, they have an ear for it, you know? You can spend so much time, become a pro in this tool right here, the DAW, you can understand everything. But if you don't have the tool of hearing and understanding, oh, I'm processing something, okay, this isn't the sound I'm looking for, okay, this isn't the tweak I was supposed to do. If you can use your ears, that is the best. So I over the years, I think a lot of producers, they without knowing, I do at least, I analyze songs when I listen to them. Oh, it's kind of like a analytic journey with my ears. So when I listen to a song, I end up being if something oh, that sound, how did that come along? I want to make that sound. I want to try to make it. I go in the program and I know the basics of it. I know the tools to take me there. And then I need to use my ears.
Yeah.
And it's the same with mixing, mastering, be selective in the tools you're using. It's better to understand 10 or 15 great tools than to start putting on stuff you don't even know what it's doing.
Listen to the vocals. I've now cleaned up the project. I've added some vocal chopping here at the beginning just to create some teasing for the sound.
And I'm so impressed, Toby, because right now, I can tell that you've systemized. So you have your vocals down here, you have your lead bass, lead synth. So until next time, I want you to put the effects together and again make folders.
Yeah, I just did one folder.
Yeah, up here.
Yeah.
Let me have a listen. Oh, not bad.
Huh?
Yeah.
And here I like the little
Toby, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is amazing. Wow.
Yeah, the vocals. What like did I do it?
You definitely have managed to make something unique for that vocal
Yeah.
with using just some delay, some reverb, some compression, and it sounds way better than it did yesterday, dry. Like it fits the project now, you know. It sounds smoother within the project. It like in a wholeness, it sounds better.
Yeah.
Now it's more about like just finessing it. If you listen to the vocal now
Yeah.
with the song,
Yeah.
and then just like close your eyes and try to imagine how, when the vocal comes in, imagine how you would like it to sound.
You make me feel that nothing but losing on my mind, yeah.
Yeah. I want it more punchy.
Yeah, exactly. But again, you can hear that you're missing some of the presence in the vocal to make it like stand out in the mix. So it's like, oh, it almost feels like it's in your face without being in your face. And just by imagining how you want the vocal to sound, because you have, how many tracks have you listened to over the couple of years? Like thousands, like maybe even 10,000s.
Yeah.
So your ear and you know, okay, I know the sound that I want,
Yeah.
because you're familiar with it. But when you just like continuously working on the track and in the mix, it's easy to forget. So sometimes you just have to stop up. Hey, slow down the brakes. Let me just like clear my thoughts. Okay. What's my vision for the vocal?
Yeah.
And then just listening to it once. Okay, I need some more punch, I need some more clarity, I need some more like, and then you can execute. You can go in there and you can fix it. I think your EQing is a bit poor.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because right now you're just taking away. So what you have done is that you have taken away the rumbling frequencies that you didn't like, and that's great. And then you put on a de-esser.
Yeah, a little small one.
Yeah, but what that does is that, as you can hear, like the vocal right now is like you kind of lost some of the punchiness in the topper frequencies.
Nothing but losing on my mind.
There's still a lot of like lower rumbling frequencies. So if I would even.
Yeah, get a little crazy, bitch, I put it on you, baby. I'm on you my one and only. Yeah, I'm a fine, make you mine. Let me look up. You make me feel that nothing but losing on my mind, yeah. Get a little crazy, bitch, I put it on you, baby. I'm on you my one and only. Yeah, I'm a fine, make you mine. Let me look up. You make me feel that nothing but losing on my mind, yeah. Get a little crazy, bitch, about it, oh you baby. I'm you my one and only. Yeah, I'm a fine, make you mine. Let me look, you make me feel that nothing but losing on my mind, yeah. Get a little crazy, bitch, about it, oh you baby. I'm you my one and only, yeah. I'm a fine, make nothing but losing on my mind. You make me feel that nothing but losing on my mind, yeah.
Oh my god, I'm allergic to greatness. What else?
So basically, I just went into your EQ and I kind of just like list my way through. Okay, so there's some top end missing, like some crispness in the vocal. So just adding a bit of a texture here. You can even like, I took it a bit like, you could probably have it so you have the curve more narrowed to around like 4K, because right now you also have a de-esser that is pushing quite hard. So, and that means that every time she is singing the S's or the T's, you are compressing them. So then you're losing information around that. So you kind of want to like, supplement. Yeah, exactly. So that was the only thing I did, and then I went slightly into your compressor, and your threshold was a bit, like it was down in the 22, minus 22. I pushed it just up to 15, so the threshold is a bit higher. And then I just added a bit more, so it's like 3.2 to 1 with the compression, just a bit more, to push it a little more. Then I just took the makeup volume, instead of like having it around, I think you had it at -4, just pushed it to like around -2.5 dB, and then I just slightly put on some soft distortion.
Yeah.
And my release, I want the release to be hitting immediately.
Yeah.
Because the vocal kinds of like, you want the compressor to kick in immediately.
Yeah.
But also like if you don't find this interesting, you can always just bounce out the stems and send it to a mixer. And
yeah, but it's fun. It's when you get to the sweet spot and you hear the difference, it's
and it's a rewarding.
Yeah, rewarding feeling.
Yeah,
it's like a game.
Basically, mixing is like you're preparing something to be released. So basically, like what you're doing is that you're using the tools within the program to make every level of the track be transparent with the other stuff you have within the project. So for example, I want my drums to be like pushing equivalent in sound, like in volume, like in like having a good balance on like all the different elements in my drum stack. Same with my effects. I don't want any effects to stick out. I just want them to complement the track, maybe pan them. Basses, like if I have 3 layers on a bass, I might want to take out some frequencies to give room for like the main bass or like the higher bass. I might want to make it punchier or like tighter. On the synths, it's the same thing, giving room to the lead synth in the broader picture of the track. All my big room sounds here. I wanna take out like the frequencies that are. So basically, mixing is like you are making it tighter, better, and also more balanced, you know?
Yeah.
Because then when you go to master, and the mastering process is like the final step then you can just like lightly push the track and everything is just balanced and sounds great.
Do you mix and master your own tracks?
Yeah, I do.
But
For me,
do you do that for fun, or you can send it away, right?
I have sent it away a couple times, but the result is like they send it back, and I'm not happy with it, because when I'm in the project here, I have full control of every parameter. So I have control of my kicks and my snares and my hats, and if I send away my project to a person that is mixing it, he probably is gonna listen to it with different perspective, and it could be a good thing, and if he or she is great at it, then the result can be amazing. But most of the times I feel like I'm so picky on where I want to take my song.
Yeah.
I'm really picky on when it comes to like the quality. So and for me it's hard to give that feedback to a mixer, but I can do it myself.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And then I also feel like when I'm sending stuff to mastering, like they always end up compressing it too much, and it's like the bass isn't as like airy and like luftig.
Yeah, airy, yeah.
Yeah.
It has room and it's...
It has like room, and it has like the dynamics in the bass is like full, and I think like it's always like, I don't know, I feel like electronic music these days, like the waveform is the same throughout the song. So in the parts where you should have more dynamics, it's compressed so high, so it's the loudness is so big, and then when the drop comes and you are expecting like, oh boom, it's like just linear, it's flat, because they push the track so hard.
Yeah, you see that on waveforms, that it's super limited on top. It's at the very...
And for me, that doesn't do the trick, because I want to enjoy the music, and I want to feel like the dynamics in the song, and I want to... It's like, you know, the mixing and the mastering is like this. It's a part of the soul. It's a part of the DNA in the song. So if you have compressed it, it's like a person being in the gym taking steroids, you know?
Yeah. But mixing, that's going through individually each track, and mastering is when you have it in one, or...
Mastering is like you can master with you could either do like a bounce down of the stems, so you have like a kick, drums, bass, vocal, synths, effects.
Okay.
That's a 5-track master.
Yeah.
Mix down. And then you mix within that, so you do like some fine mixing, because then the master person can like, okay, I kind of want the kick to be a bit higher, because it's hard for a master company or if they are getting sent the track and they feel like the kick is there's missing something in the song, the kick is a bit low, it's hard for them to push the kick. If they only have one track, they have the full track.
Yeah.
But if they have a 5-track multi-bounce, with like a kick, drums, bass sounds, like the instruments, it's easier for them to do some minor changes.
But do you when you master your own tracks, do you bounce them out, or do you just, you know, why do you need to bounce them out?
So I've done a couple different things.
Yeah.
Like in the years of me producing, sometimes I bounce it out, and sometimes I just do it within the project. It depends on how the project came along, you know.
Yeah.
So I've I've shoot myself in the leg a couple of times, like starting a project and pushing the volume so high, like that is it's just like on my keyboard it's like 10 dB plus, and then I need to compensate and push the volume down on the master. So and then it's hard to have control over the balance of the individual tracks. So what I then do, I just like put minus 20 dB a filter or like a EQ on every single track, and then I bounce them out and I drag them into a new project and I just focus on the mix.
Oh, that's smart. Okay, so mixing, like, is there any way for me to learn the basics?
You can, the first thing that is essential tool when you're mixing is getting all your tracks in an equal type of level. And that means like if there's some frequency sticking out within the track, I heard, for example, on your vocal pitch that were some frequencies that like really sticked out. Then just like taking them, isolating them, dragging them down. Like,
so there's a lot of EQ work in mixing.
Yeah.
And volume. Or mostly
EQing, compressing, volume, and finding the place of the instrument in the mix, you know. So for example, I can have a great piano. I could have had this keyboard, oh, that's a great keyboard sound.
Yeah.
And just put it here in the mix.
Just dance insane to the funky man. Check out the sounds. You got to get down to the rhythms of James Brown. Keep grooving to the band called Sap. Not taking no slack. Don't parlay.
But now it's taking a lot of place in the mix, so it kind of it's not there to complement the vocal, you know. So what I do is like I go in and I listen. First I just mute the vocals because I just want to hear easier the keyboard sound. So for me, I would like to just pan the keyboard a bit to the right, because this is working as a rhythmic element in the song to complement like the rhythms of the beat. And then again, just a bit of a flanger effect to manipulate the sound a little. Drag down the EQ around 1000K, because so there's more room for the vocal there, and then slightly just find the right amount, like to find the balanced sweet spot of the volume, so you can still hear it, but it's not present. It's a layer within the track that makes the rhythm sound smoother. And then I kind of feel the attack on the keyboard is a bit. So just I want to just slightly bring down the attack.
Yeah, smooth it out a little bit.
Yeah. So it's not as
Yeah.
hard. And then I probably, my last step, just to make sure that the levels are I would put on a compressor, no limiter, bring down the input volume, have the release on auto, release auto, the attack on fast, ratio on 1.5 to 5, and just slightly bring up the gain again because I'm compressing the signal a little. Can you hear it? So it's bringing that flanger effect in full force. So, and that was exactly what I felt was missing. So, using my ears and then just compare it to the vocal.
Check out the sounds. You got to get down to the rhythms of James Brown. Keep grooving. To
You
the band
always
goes down.
compared with the
Not
vocals?
taking no slack. Don't
Yeah, because I don't, like, for me it's so important that the vocal, if I have a vocal in the track, that has room to stick out.
Yeah.
So,
So let me see, for example, the bass and the lead, or maybe the drums. They take a lot of space in the mix.
yeah.
check out the sounds. You got to get.
So here, for example, I feel I might have too much rumble.
Yeah.
Nasty frequency. Just drag that down a couple dB.
That's nasty.
Nasty frequency. But again, what we talked about earlier when it came to EQing, don't take away too much because then you can create phase.
So you can EQ earlier for the sound, how the sound is is going to be, and then you EQ later for the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I usually when I put up a sound, I do some pre-work on it, like I prepare it for the song. But then when I have the structure of the song, I start like listening to the individual tracks together with everything else, finding the sweet spot of like the sound within the track. So within the song, so it's like it has its place,
Yeah.
It's not taking too much place and it's not take too little. It's like perfect. It's balanced.
Yeah. But you don't use here. You don't use. Do you use compressor for the bass?
I can.
Yeah.
Like what I usually do is that I like on the sub bass, which is the Juno 60 track here. I can go in and I don't have my I didn't bring my other sound card, my Apollo.
Yeah.
From who makes Apollo again?
I don't know. NASA.
NASA. Bam.
Bam.
Universal Audio, and they have some great plugins. And usually when I mix and master, I have, for example, in the master chain, I have the legacy EQ because it gives like a bit of like texture, and then I also uses their multi compressor, the 2500 IPA. It's a great compressor, and I use some of their EQs. But then you need to buy again a sound card that is $1,500, and then you also need to subscribe to their page, and you need to pay to use their plugins.
Yeah.
So if you can't afford that, there's a great tool. Isotope has like a great package, which is called Ozone. And Ozone has like a dynamic EQ, which is amazing. So here you can EQ some frequencies, and you can compress them.
Oh, okay. So you can isolate the frequencies and compress only them.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's a great tool, for example, a bass sound. And you can also, like, if you're not comfortable doing that, you can, for example, use like the O sound, like the presets. You can go in here, for example, and here you have a chain of different like plugins you can put in. So you have I think you can have 4 different or 5 or 6. So instruments and buses. Here you have some different options: body bass, bass guitar, bass DI, all synth bass. So I would probably put a bit of a body bass on this sub, and as you can see, it gives me a vintage tape, vintage EQ, and a vintage compressor. To just slightly, as you can see, threshold around 16, ratio 2.4, attack 34, release 42. So it gives a little compression, but not too much.
Do you hear it?
Slightly. It's very.
Yeah.
Just brings a bit of the umph. But here again, now I can hear that there's some frequencies that I don't like, that is sticking out more.
Oh, we don't like nasty frequencies.
No, we don't. We like the frequencies to be balanced. So here we go.
Ooh.
And also what you should think about is that if you have a sub bass that are playing on top of a sub kick, they are competing against each other.
Yeah.
And the sub kick is everything like a F kick, like a kick that is in the note of F is roughly around like where the sub is sticking out, 48 hertz.
Okay.
So and then you have 48, you have 90, you have 100 and 80. So it like.
Yeah, but you wanna have room for the kick more than room for the bass in that same frequency.
You wanna have a balanced signal of
That's
both.
true. Yeah.
So
Balance. That's the word.
here I felt like around 54 hertz was the sweet spot of like the rumble, and just dragging that down before I slightly compress it with 3 dB. It gives a bit more oomph, but at the same time texture, but you also don't drag up the volume on the frequencies that you don't want.
Yeah.
And then this top bass here, I could, for example, okay, now I'm having a 3-layer bass, and I kind of want to put some stereo effect on the top bass, like a chorus effect, to just
make it wider.
Yeah. So this Chris Lord, great tool. You can use like a chorus effect, as like you don't need to have like a plugin, but it's easy.
Yeah, yeah. Do a lot of the tracks compete for middle sequences? So now you spread the frequencies to the side.
Yeah. So basically, what this plugin is doing, it's splitting the signal and it's just panning it left and right.
Okay. Yeah.
So to give you like a more like stereo effect to it, like you get like, instead of having 100% stereo,
Yeah.
It gives you illusion of 200% stereo.
Yeah.
By just like adding splitting the signal, keeping also a signal in the middle, but pushes that signal in the middle, like face it. So all of this. So basically, what it does is, because if I just split the signal in two and put it left and right, it's not going to do much. But if I face it a little and put some milliseconds difference, you're gonna hear the difference without knowing. And this plugin does it with just like with not understanding and knowing how to do it. You can just use it by dragging a knob.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like right now. There's a lot of, since I put the reverb on this track, it creates a lot of unnecessarily frequency noise around like the middle, like 2K. So I just put on the honk effect and drag down the treble, and it makes it sound smoother. So here it's taking a lot of place. But now it's like cooler. It's like it found its place in the mix, you know. So now I feel good about the bass. And now it's finding the sweet spot of the hi-hats and just EQing them a bit. So here I just go. So I start just like easily. I just start easily EQing on every single track.
Yeah.
Just taking out some.
Do you hear, or do you often watch as well, like see?
Well, you can hear that this frequency sticks out.
Yeah. But you also see like you get some reference on the graphics.
Yeah. You do. So I still have the texture of the sound, but it's when I end up pushing the song in the like when I push the volume up in the final steps of mixing and mastering.
Yeah.
It's more headroom there for other elements. So just take away the frequencies that I don't like on the clap. Just give me 5 minutes of quick. Yeah, so Toby, I've done some mixing here. The only parts I haven't mixed is the build-up sounds in the pre-chorus, like these 4. But yeah, so basically. Yeah, it sounds smoother.
Very.
It sounds more as a. It sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, and that was not many minutes of mixing.
No,
Like,
but it's again like like when I dig into a mix, like I can sit for hours and just like, but again, it's using your ears.
yeah,
You don't need that many tools to make a great mix. It's just knowing which tools to use to get the result.
Mm.
So usually what I do, I to a certain point, okay, I like what I'm hearing right now. Then I change my sound card to the sound card within the like the MacBook, and I listen to it on the MacBook speakers. And then suddenly I maybe hear some frequencies that sticks out on the MacBook.
Yeah.
So it's finding that balance between, because you can have great speakers and you can have a great system.
you should listen to my song, but only on these speakers because then it sounds good. That's not.
Yeah,
Gonna happen.
So finding the sweet spot between a high end mix
Yeah.
and but it will sound good on shitty speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you just use like EQ on those? Or did you use compressor as well?
I did some compressing, but mostly just EQ and compressor
And volume.
and volume automation and just like. So here, like I still want to put on some. Just put in like a.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Yeah. I can understand that you can sit here for hours and just fine tune.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the fun part.
No, it's super fun, but
Okay.
it's like for you at home there, you might think like, oh, this is gonna be impossible because he's working quickly, like he's like what just happened and but basically like it's not that difficult. It's just using your ears, using some EQing, compressing, panning the instruments, finding the place for the instruments in the mix, watching some YouTube tutorials and then just have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna now take some time and try to mix at least maybe the first part, just the first beat, and I'll get your feedback on that next time.
Next time we will finish up, do some mastering trick, just balance the track out and make it sounds amazing, so you can render it or bounce it down, mix down and send it to some producers or to
labels. I hope you guys learned something. I did. Let's mix together. And I'm not talking about mixing cocktails. I'm talking about mixing layers of greatness, which is
layer of greatness.
That was the outro.
Teaching Toby is presented by Master Channel. Instantly produce outstanding masters at masterchannel.ai. Use the code MATOBY during checkout for 50% off.